Hello friends, welcome back to CGA. So till now we have covered two sessions. In the first session we have discussed about the DDL, DML and DQL stuffs, and in the second session we have discussed about the group by, having, where class, difference between group by and having, and order by classes, etc. So today we are going to continue from the same place where we have left from the where we have left in the previous class. Okay, so today we are again going to see the group by classes. Actually in last class we have put the group by for only one column as it is displayed in the screen, right? So today we are going to write a query such that we are using the group by for multiple columns in a single query. Okay, so let me put the select star from employee and check what are all the data that is available now. So if we see here, we have around 5 rows, right? So let us insert 5 more rows and then we will proceed with our query, so it will be very easy to understand. So I am going to just script the table and then let's insert some few more records into the table, and also we are going to add another one column. We are going to create another one column called designation. So see here, there is an employee ID, employee name, age, department ID, salary and address we have already. I am going to have some other column called designation, that is the designation of the employee. Okay, so let's write the query here. First let's add the designation column over here and then we can update the value for the same. Let me add designation column, alter table employee, add designation, which is varchar of 100. Okay, so now I have added a new column called designation. I am going to update some values for the designation. Okay, update employee, set designation equal to L1, which means the level 1, the beginner, for the employees one, 3 and 5. Okay, also I am going to update the, for the employee 2 and 4 I am going to update them as L2. So now if we see the table details, we have added a column called designation L1. Sorry, I have updated it as L1 again for the employee ID 2 and 4. Let me update it as L2. So now if we see, we have added a column called designation and we have updated the values as L1 and L2 for all the employees, which means employee 1, 3 and 5 are in the L1 level and the employee 2 and 4 are in the L2 level. Okay, so in last class we have written a group by query which gives the count of employee in each, this where condition we don't need now, just for this demo. So in last class we have written a query to find the count of employees in each department, right? So in department ID 1 there are 2, in department ID 2 there are 2 members, and in department ID 3 there are 3 members. So we have written only one we have written this query based on only one column in the group by. Let me put designation also in the group by class and see what happens. So if we put in department ID 1, in L1 there is only one member. Let's see. So let me run this also, and then we can verify the output. Okay. So in department ID 1 at L1 level there is only one employee, which is employee ID 1. So in department ID 1 L1 there is only one employee. Similarly, it has grouped the table based on department ID first and then with the designation. So if we put the the sum of so let's insert 5 more records, and then if we check this, it will be very clear, the output will be very clear and it will be easy to understand. So let me insert 5 more values into this table. Okay, instead of writing an insert query, I am going to just take the insert script of this particular table. This I will tell you how to do later. As of now it is not needed for you. Just I will take the script and I will insert it for time being. Actually, if we do like this, we can take the script of any table, even the entire database we can take. So now I am going to take only the data for this particular table. Okay, for this particular table employee, and I am going to save in this path. Now the script has ran. So if we go to the path, we will have the script ready. Let's go to documents, and here SQL Server Manager, here in documents only we have saved, right? If we right click and if we open with some notepad, we will have the script ready. So this is the 5 rows that we have already in our employee table. I am just taking the script and then putting it here to insert 5 more different rows. Okay, the employee ID we should not insert it here because the employee ID is a primary key that we have declared. Okay, so I am removing the employee ID column from here. So the employee names also we can give different names. This is the age, right? Let the age be the same, no problem. And this is the department. Let me change the department as 1, 2, 3, 2 and 1. Let's give some random. Let it be 50,000. Salary, this is the salary I am going to give for this particular employee. 60,000, 70,000, 80,000 and 11,000. Okay, city we can give any city as we need, or we can also leave it as null. As of now, let's leave it as null, because we are not going to deal anything further with the address column, so let's leave it as such. The level, let it be L3, L2, L1, again L3. This is the designation column that we have recently added. So let me run this and check, and let's check how many rows are now available in the, since we have removed the employee ID column there, we need to remove here also. As this is a primary key, we cannot explicitly insert any values into this table, because we have given identity of 1, 1 to this particular column name. So let me run this. Hopefully this should run good now. So we have got 5 more rows inserted into this particular table. Now we will get around 10 rows. Okay, so if we see that we have around 10 employees in this particular table. So if you see here, the primary key, we have deleted the employee ID 6 from this table already when we are just demoing the DDL, the delete statement. So since we have deleted 6, 7 has came, there is nothing to confuse over here, to get confused. Okay, so we have around 10 employees with these employee IDs, and they all belongs to these designations. Now let's run this query and see how many. Let me run 2 queries separately with one department ID alone in a group by, and also department ID and designation in the group by. As I have already said, you will get error if you put any column in the select class which is not available in the group by class. If we run this, we should be getting error saying that the column designation is not available in the group by class, so you cannot mention it in the select class. So let us remove this. This is the correct way to write the group by query. So if we see here, there are totally 4 members. Let's compare all the 3 queries and understand how the group by works. Okay, so here if we see, this is the entire table we have, and this is the output of the first query. Okay, let me put it in such a way that everything is visible to us. Okay, okay. Now if we see, there are totally 10 rows that we have in our employee table. Among those 10 rows, here we have grouped based on the department ID, and we are displaying the count of employees, count of employee ID. So it will say the total number of employee ID in each department. So when we are grouping by department ID, the distinct department ID, if we take 1, 2 and 3, so we will be getting one output for one department, one output for department ID 2, and one output for department ID 3. Okay, so the count of employees in the first department, it is 4. Let's check. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Similarly, for department ID 2, we are getting 4 as the count, so here 2, and employee ID 8 and the employee ID 10. These 4 belongs to department ID 2. So we are getting the output for this query based on grouping the department ID column alone. But if you take the output of this query, which is over down here, In department ID 1, in L1 there is only one member. In department ID 2 and the designation L1 there is only one member. If we see here, first it grouped based on the department ID, then it grouped based on the designation. From this output, it is grouping it again based on the designation, and it is providing us the aggregated value, which is the count of employee. So if we see here, in okay, again let's make it visible. So if we see here, there are totally wait, let me put this query as display. So we are grouping the department and we are grouping by department ID first and then by designation, and we are displaying the count at department ID and the designation level. So if we see here, there are around 10 employees, in which let's take this row and validate whether the output is correct. So in department ID 1, there are 4 employees. Among the 4 employee in L2, if you see this one, the row number 10 and the row number 7, okay, that is employee 8 and employee 11 are belonging to L2. So sorry, row number 7. I think I am so in L2, right? So first let's group by department ID 1. There are 4 records, and in these 4 records, those who belongs to L2 is the employee ID 2, because this employee ID 2 belongs to department ID 1 and the designation L2. We have this row, and also department ID 1, but this is L3. But if you see here, the department ID in department ID 1 and L2, we have the employee 11. So this 11 employee ID and the employee ID 2 are belonging to department ID 1, but since we are again grouping it by designation in L2, there are 2 employees. Okay, so these 2 rows count we are getting as 2 here. Similarly, we are getting the other rows output. So in department ID 1 in L3, there is only one employee present. In department ID 1 in L3, only we have the employee ID 7. So we are getting the correct output by grouping by 2 columns. This demo I want to show to you that we can group by any number of columns based on the business logic that we need to. Okay, in last session we have just grouped by one column. Now we have seen an example that we can write query by grouping it by any number of columns, and we have also seen how the SQL will work if we group by multiple columns. Okay, then let's go to the next topic called subquery. Okay, subquery is nothing but a query inside another query. A query inside another query is called what? Subquery. For example, we have let me put the select star from employee again, and I will demonstrate the subquery for you. before moving to subquery, let me create another one table called department. Okay, because currently we have only one table called employee. Let me create another one table called department very fast, and then I will explain you the subquery. Okay, this create table script and all, how to create a table, how to alter the table, all that we have seen in the DDL, DML and DQL stuff. This create table belongs to DDL. Create table department. Just if we see this employee table, we are having the employee and its department ID. Then nowhere we have mentioned that this department ID 1 means what. So that I am going to put it in the department table. Here also department ID, which is integer, again a primary key. Okay, which is again a identity of 1 comma 1. What this identity of 1 comma 1 does, and what is this 1 comma 1, this, that is seed and increment, everything we have discussed in our previous session. Department ID and department name, which is varchar of 100, let's or 255, because the department name can be big, right? So let me create this, and let me insert data into it. Okay, so insert into department. Since department ID is a primary key with identity of 1 comma 1, we cannot explicitly insert any value into the department ID column, because it will automatically insert value starting with 1 and by increment with 1, because we have provided identity of 1 comma 1. So I am going to insert value only into the department name column. Last time we have inserted the values in the table using the keyword called values. Now I am going to insert it using the select statement itself. Select, let me say the department 1 can be HR. Second department can be admin. Third department can be IT, and fourth department can be finance. So if we run this, we will get 4 rows inserted into the department table. Okay, let's put select star from department table and also the select star from employee table. So if we see here, department 1 is admin, department 2 is finance, department 3 is HR, and department 4 is IT. Okay, so by comparing these two tables, we can say the employee ID 1 belongs to the department ID 1, which is admin. Employee ID 2 belongs to the department ID 1, which is admin. Employee ID 3, whose name is C, belongs to the department ID 2, which is finance. So now I will give you an example for the subquery. Subquery is nothing but what? A query inside another query. A query inside another query is called subquery. So let me give an example. For example, if we want to display information about the employee who is working in finance department, we cannot take the output from here, right? Because we do not have finance that is displayed over here, that is the department name we do not have in this table, but we have only in the department table. Okay, so let me write a query. So this is the employee table and this is the department table. So actually if we want to, by seeing here we will know, if we want to display the details about employee who is working in finance, by seeing here we will know 2 is the department ID for finance. So if I write a query to filter the employees who is working in department ID 2, I will get the correct output. Just this one is sufficient. Select star from employee where department ID equal to 2. So this will give us the output of the employees who are working in the finance department. But if we know this ID, then only we can mention it here, else we can write a subquery like select department ID from department where department name equal to finance. Okay, so this is equal to the query that we have written previously, department ID equal to 2. We will get the same output, right? See, we are getting the same output, but to write this query you need to know 2 is the department ID for finance department. But when you do not know that, because it is available in the department table, if you want to filter the employee details which is available in the who are working in the finance department, then you can write this subquery. This is a query that is written inside the whole query. So the output of this inner query 2 will be returned as an output to the outer query. So if you see this, the output of the inner query is 2, this returns 2. So actually the query that got executed is this one. Okay, also if you want to display the details of employee who are working in finance department and also the HR department, then you can put it in this way, so that you will be getting the details of employees who are working in what happened. Yeah, this is, we need to put another one bracket because this here this bracket ends and we need to put another one bracket to close this subquery. So from here to here one query, this will give the department IDs of, this will give the department IDs in the department table whose department name is finance and HR. But if you put equal to, as I already said, you can give only one value if you put equal to. If you have multiple values, then we need to put in here. So the output of the inner query is 2 and 3. So if we run this whole query, it will give the details of the employee who are working in the department finance and HR, which is similar to this query will be similar to the query that I am going to write here, because the output of the inner query is this one. So this output 2 comma 3 will be returned to the outer query, and it will give the details of employee who are working in finance and HR department. So if we write a query inside another query, that is said to be subquery. Okay, now let us see some other example. Okay, in this example so now you can ask me a question like, see here we have written okay, let me write one query and then I will explain you. Select from employee group by department ID. Group by department ID. We are going to group by department, and we are going to display the maximum salary. That is, we are going to display the maximum salary in each department. We are going to display the maximum salary in each department. We will be writing the query like this. Okay, so if we see here, these are all the three salaries. So 50,000 is the maximum salary in department 1, 80,000 is the maximum salary in department 2, 70,000 is the maximum salary in department ID 3. So let me put select star from employee again for our comfort. So if we see here in department ID 1, there are 20,000, 23,000, 50,000 and 11,000. Out of these 4, 50,000 is the maximum salary. For example, if I want to display the employee name who is getting the maximum salary in this department, if I cannot directly put the employee ID here, because we can put only the columns that are available in the group by in the select class. So if we write that, we will be getting an error. Employee ID, we cannot display the employee ID because this is not available in the group by. So how can we display the name of the employee who is getting maximum salary in each department? Now I will write a query for that using subquery, but that is not, let me come to that. So we have got, these are all the maximum salary in each department, right? So we need to display the person name who are getting maximum salary in each department. So this is the in department ID 1, 50,000 is the maximum salary. In department ID 2, 80,000 is the maximum salary, and the person who are getting it is in department ID 1, 50,000 is the maximum salary, and F is the employee who is getting it, and in department ID 2, 80,000 is the maximum salary, and I is the person who is getting that. So since I cannot put employee ID here directly, what I am going to do is, I am going to write a subquery. I am okay, select star from employee where salary in max of salary. So if I write like this, the output, this will provide us the maximum salary in each department value. So this output will be passed to this outer query. So here we can get the details about the employee who are getting maximum salary in each department. In department ID 1, 50,000 is the maximum salary. F is the person who is getting it. In department ID 2, 80,000 is the maximum salary and the person who is getting it is I. So now here it did not give any error because the group by is in the inner query and we are displaying the details in the outer query. So this is an example for subquery, but the output this returned is not correct. I will let you know. I will tell you why. See, if we see these two, here let me put employee name, department ID and salary. So if we see here, employee name, department ID and salary, what is the error it is giving to us? Incorrect syntax name, department ID. I can't understand. Yeah, okay. I think I have not selected the last bracket over here while executing. Maybe that is the reason. So out of this 10 employees, in department ID 1, the maximum salary is 50,000 because 20,000, 23,000, 50,000 and 11,000. Out of these 50,000 is the maximum salary and the person who is getting it is the employee who is getting that maximum salary in department ID 1 is F. So it is correctly getting displayed here. Yes. So in department ID 1, 50,000 is the maximum salary and the person who is getting it is F. And in department ID 2, 80,000 is the maximum salary and the employee who is getting it is I. See, I is the person who is getting maximum salary. So this is an example for group by, but this is not an exact output which will give the maximum salary. Employee name of the person who is getting maximum salary in each department. This output, I will prove you, this is a wrong output. Let me update in department ID 2 for this G employee, update employee, set salary equal to 50,000 where employee name equal to G. So if I run this, I have updated the salary of employee name who is G. Okay, now let's display all the records from this. So if we see here, this employee G is also getting 50,000 as the salary. Now if we run this, we will be getting the maximum salary in each subject, but if we run the whole query, we are not getting the required output. So actually in department ID 2, 50,000 is not the maximum salary, only 80,000 is the maximum salary. This row we should have not got, because here we are in the where condition, we are filtering it only based on the salary. We need to filter based on salary in each department. Okay, here in where condition, this query actually will get executed in a way where the output of this query will be what? 50,000 comma 80,000 comma 70,000. So if we run this, there are 4 records that is getting retrieved from the employee table. So it is displaying the 4 rows, but this is not the correct output that we need, as this is not the correct output that we need, because this person G belonging to department ID 2 is not getting the highest salary, because 80,000 is the highest salary in the department ID 2. So in where condition, if you see clearly, we have put only the salary in the where condition. We have never considered this department ID. So it is just displaying all these 4 records as the output. So this is not the desired output we want, but this how we can achieve is, we can achieve this only by using the joins that we are going to discuss in the next session. I was just want to convey this query only to explain you how the subquery works. Okay, so sometimes you will get cheated by saying, yeah, I am getting the correct output, but it will not be correct if the data changes. So we need to be very careful while writing the query. Okay, fine. Let's bring the correct output of the query, that is getting displaying the employee name who is getting the maximum salary in each department using joins in the next sessions. Thank you. Goodbye.